In the restless tide of the crypto market, Hedera's token HBAR is currently trading at around 22 cents to $0.223 per coin. Over the past 24 hours, it has moved modestly, neither storming ahead nor collapsing dramatically. Its market capitalization hovers near $9.46 billion, reflecting the collective belief or skepticism that this project might still have room to grow. Hedera currently circulates about 42.39 billion HBAR of its maximum 50 billion token supply. CoinGecko +2, CoinDesk +1, Coinbase +2, CoinGecko +1. Those numbers tell the opening of the story. What comes next depends on how the plot unfolds. Whether Hedera can live up to its promise or get lost in the crowded world of smart contract platforms. Walking through Hedera's world is like stepping into a mix of Silicon Valley hopes and enterprise infrastructure deals. While many crypto projects chase flashy DeFi tokens and meme power, Hedera leans toward the serious side. Rapid consensus, low fees, stable performance, and backing from global companies. Its architecture is not blockchain but hashgraph, a different approach that aims for speed and fairness rather than congested blocks. With this design, Hedera hopes to carve a niche. If businesses, governments, or institutions adopt it, the demand for HBAR to pay fees, operate network nodes, stake, etc. could climb. But here's the rub. Many blockchains are chasing the same goals. Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, even newcomers with clever branding, all compete for developer mindshare and investor dollars. Hedera must prove that its version of fast, cheap, final is not just marketing but real in the wild. Predicting where HBAR might land in 6 months or 5 years is more of an art than a science. The market tosses surprises, regulation looms, capital flows shift. But by combining fundamentals, market trends, and scenario thinking, one can sketch a few plausible paths. Call them hopeful, cautious, or alarm bells that eye in a hopeful path. Hedera starts to see serious adoption. Organizations build real apps on it. Partnerships with traditional firms roll out use cases in supply chain, identity, payments, perhaps tokenizing real-world assets. As traffic grows, HBAR becomes not just a speculative object but a demand driver. In that world, today's 22 cents might seem cheap. We could see 2 times or more from here, possibly pushing HBAR into 40 cents to 80 cents territory or beyond over several years, assuming no disasters. In a middle path, Hedera does well but not spectacularly. Picks up niche projects, holds its ground, but never becomes the star. HBAR might inch upward, perhaps to 30 to 50 cents over time. It would reward long-term holders but not deliver get-rich-quick fireworks. In a cautious or pessimistic path, things don't go well. Competitive chains outshine Hedera. Adoption is slow. Regulation or macro shocks drag the whole crypto sector downward. In that case, HBAR might stagnate, even retreat, hovering around or below current levels. Some holders might see modest gains, some losses. A few caveats must always be remembered. Many forecasts assume smooth growth, ignoring that a single regulatory announcement or economic crash can derail everything. Forecasts rarely account for unknown unknowns. Also, models often extend current trends and assume capital keeps flowing in. If investor sentiment turns risk-off, that flow can reverse. Right now, HBAR faces both opportunity and pressure. At its current price, there's hope in market participants that it might be undervalued. But it also contends with sideways trading, occasional dips, and the need for breakout catalysts. To break out of its current trading zone, Hedera will need stronger narratives. Major partnerships, visible adoption, or technical breakthroughs. And of course, market sentiment plays a big role. When Bitcoin roars or the general crypto tide rises, altcoins often catch a lift. If Bitcoin sneezes, they might catch a cold. In such cycles, Amos was the kind of guy who always carried 2 things in his pocket: his phone and a dream bigger than his wallet. He worked as a boda rider during the day, ferrying passengers through the busy streets, and at night he scrolled endlessly through articles about business and technology. One headline caught his eye: Hedera coin price prediction. At first, Amos almost dismissed it. He'd heard too many stories about people burning their savings on coins that promised to go to the moon, but ended up buried underground. Yet this one felt different. The article explained how Hedera's network was not a regular blockchain but something called Hashgraph, faster, cheaper, and backed by companies he'd actually heard of like Google and IBM. The coin was sitting around 20 cents, and analysts whispered that with adoption, it could climb higher in the coming years. Instead of rushing in like a gambler, Amos played it smart. Each week after paying for fuel and food, he set aside a small piece of his earnings, the kind of money he would usually spend on extra snacks or airtime. Slowly, quietly, he started buying HBAR. Months turned into a year. Life on the road didn't change much, but Amos noticed something special happening in his wallet. Hedera's value grew, not like fireworks, but like a tree stretching toward the sun. His small weekly investments doubled in worth, and suddenly he had a cushion he never imagined possible. One day, Amos decided it was time to turn those digital coins into real bricks. He sold part of his holdings and used the profits to open a small kiosk selling phone accessories and airtime. The Bota still paid the bills, but the kiosk became an extra source of income, giving him hope for even bigger ventures. What made Amos's story shine wasn't luck but patience. He believed just enough to start, but he was careful enough not to risk everything. Hedera became his stepping stone. Hedera's behavior could be more influenced by the general market wind than its internal story. For students or learners, the narrative to watch is this: does Hedera shift from promise to performance? Will real apps, not just speculation, drive HBAR demand? If so, the optimistic case becomes more plausible. If Hedera remains mostly talked about, not used, the cautious path looks likelier. So what should you or an investor do? Study the news. Track whether big firms adopt Hedera. Monitor developer activity. Watch token release schedules and staking rewards. Stay alert for regulation signals. Don't gamble all your savings. Treat this as a growth play with risk. If the coin soars, great. If it stalls, you want your downside limited. In the end, predicting BAR's future is less about saying, it will be X dollars, and more about framing stories. Will Hedera be the infrastructure backbone for the next wave of enterprise dapps? Or will it remain a technically interesting footnote in crypto history? The next chapters will be written not just in charts, but in code deployments, adoption metrics, partnerships, and macro wins. We can only read what's on the page so far, and hope the plot surprises us in a good way.